Hi, I'm Denise Nelson. I admin a couple of Silhouette Cameo groups, one of which is Silhouette Cameo Wood Creations and Signs, the other 12 Months of Silhouette Projects. Silhouette projects were tutorial based. We like to share different projects and how to do them to better learn our software, machines, and different ways of doing things. So I want to go over the Craft Bundles new bundle. Craft Bundles is a sister site to the Hungry JPEG, a trusted vendor, safe to download from. Once you download the zip file to your computer, you can extract the folder, and in there you're going to find both fonts and graphics. The great thing about font bundles are the fonts are made for crafters. You're not going to have to pick and choose or figure out which ones work and which ones don't work, which ones you can get the swirly bits like this design on the t-shirt. That's all decided for you right there. If they're included, they're usable. So what's different in this bundle more than others before is that we have elements. Things like the gingerbread guy or the bits that created the border underneath. I used the fonts included to add the verbiage. Same with For Fox's Sakes, and I'm just here for the pie. So I just whip these together really quick. There's both completed cut files as well as the elements in the bundle, and there are some great completed files. For example, from Kathy Winters or K Winter Designs, we've got autumnal files already done for you. There's some subway ones, and she knows what she's doing, and I'm going to show you why. Take this design, for example. I'm going to enlarge that here so you can see it. If you're doing it on vinyl, on a shirt or whatever it is you're doing it on, see how there's an offset to each one, so you don't have to layer up to get the colors. And if you're doing signs and you're creating stencils, or you're using fabric paint or screen printing, all using your Silhouette, which are fast and easy and fun to do, having this slight offset enables you to be able to cut one stencil and use different colors. And if you're brand new to trying things like signs, this particular file, which is a favorite of mine, it's simple, straightforward, yet elegant, is an easy one to try. What's called, the nickname for it is PVPP, which means paint, vinyl, paint, peel. You paint a background color or natural wood, you lay this design down in vinyl, paint over it, and then peel the vinyl up. And I'm going to show you a couple of pictures, photos, not particularly good ones, of things I created using the completed cut files. And then I'm going to show you more on how to do your own designs, very quick and easy. I'm presuming you're fairly new to doing it, otherwise why be bored with my video? So this is a sign I painted on Give Thanks, and that exact file I just showed you, I just cut one stencil on both of these, and because the designer knows how to do these correctly, not only do they cut clean, but again, that offset enabled me to do one stencil to create these. And then the paint, vinyl, paint, peel, this was done on just plain wood. This was repurposed wood with white chalk paint over it. Just a fast, easy one. I just love simple and yet looks great. So there's a collection of completed files as well as elements, and I want to show you how to use the elements. To start with, if you haven't purchased fonts before, you're going to open your bundle, extract the folder from the zip file, go to fonts. I'm double clicking to open on a Mac, and we're going to use Quick Install, something you see on both Hungry JPEG and craftbundles.com. These are all the fonts, and I'm going to hold down my Shift key and highlight all of them. Now all I have to do is double click any one of them, and they start popping up for installation. Because I've already installed them, I'm not going to sit here and click, 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 and have you just watch me install. Rather, I'm going to quit font book here and we'll move along. But that's how you do it. Easy to do. When you install fonts, make sure your Silhouette is closed or quit Silhouette and reopen afterwards, because Silhouette is using the fonts you've installed on your hard drive to your computer. All right, now to get started, I'm going to be doing this in the updated software V4, not the beta edition V4.1. If you're new to Silhouette, as you probably are, you're learning in V4. If you are had the software for a while and you're still in V3, this is going to work exactly the same. There's just a few more features on the V4 than there were on the earlier edition. So there's lots of tutorials that go more in depth, and this isn't meant to be an end-all be-all, but to give you an idea of how to do it with a few of the bits. So I'm going to show how to create a wreath out of a leaf, and I'm going to start by taking a look at how to do this design here. Simple, easy, and this works for a number of the elements. On cut files, you have two ways, just like with fonts. You've got all the graphics, so that if you're like me, I'm putting all of these on my hard drive. Let me move this out of the way and show you. I'm putting all of my purchased cut files on my hard drive in one folder called Design Folders. And in it, I have this amount of folders. And then within each folder are subfolders that then contain the designs so that I can easily find them. I don't file mine in the Silhouette library. You can. I choose not to. So this is in folders. Now, the other way to get to your designs are compiled. It's kind of like quick install. If you're using Studio without a Designer Edition upgrade, you're going to use DXF format. And if you're in Designer Edition or Business Edition, you're probably using SVGs. So since I am in Designer, we're going to use SVGs, but it works exactly the same. So you've got your mixture of completed designs and elements. And I want you to know how to just easily create your own. So we're going to start with the fox. I'm going to open. There he is. And now what I want to do is draw a circle, because I want my text, I'm going to use a font that was in the bundle. I want my text to wrap around. So I'm going to draw Eclipse tool, except that when I do it, I'm going to hold my Shift key down, which creates a perfect circle. That works on the squares too, by the way, if you want a perfect square. Then go right back to your regular cursor, click on the circle, and size it. I want it roughly a little bigger than the fox is so that I wrap around correctly, or in a way that makes sense. Let's kind of balance there and see how that's going to look, and you'll see why. And I'm going to drag this over to the side of the mat so it's easier for you to see. Now you simply go to your text tool and type out your verbiage, highlight, and go to your text styling. One of the fonts in this month's is Reshuffle, which comes several ways. There's the first, second, which has lots of little extras, and the one I'm going to use. And I'm going to size that. You could do it either by using the drop down or picking it yourself. Now, while it's all highlighted on all, you see this circle with the plus sign. I'm just going to click on that with my cursor and pull it to that circle shape we drew. And center it where I feel it's balanced right. And now I've got my design. But if you went to pull that circle away, your text moves with it. So what you do is ungroup, simply regroup right after. I have to move my fox down a little bit, and then you can get rid of that circle. And it was that fast to create a design. I'm just filling it with color and eliminating the outline so that you can see it. That's it. That's all there is to it. That's how you're going to use these elements to have endless possibilities. So let's get rid of that one. Let's draw a circle again, and I'm going to make this one a perfect circle again by holding my shift key down. Go back to my regular cursor. Let me make that a little bigger just for the sake of this video. All right, this time let's pull a leaf in. Let's create a wreath using an autumn leaf. And I'm literally just clicking and dragging, but you could use up on the toolbar the open tool. And I know we have an autumn leaf here. Let's pull this fall foliage right over. And I'm going to size this down. I'm going to go about there. Nope, a little big. About there. So while the design is highlighted, and let me make it darker for you to see. There we go. While I'm highlighted, so when you click on it and it's got the outline, we call that highlighted. I'm going to go to the replicate window and I'm going to click on this third option, which is an object on path, and it says show grab handle. I'm going to click on that, and now I'm going to use that just like we did with the font and drag it to my shape. When I do, it automatically fills it in all over the place. Now come down to the number of repeats, start bringing that number down until it's a shape you like. I went a little too far there. I want enough to be able to see it's a wreath, but not so much it's too busy for the eye. And then to get it off of the shape, much like we did with the font we ungrouped, on this one we're going to release and pull that circle out. We can get rid of it. And we can either create a compound path or just simply group these together. And then we can type out what we want. So if I were, let me just choose something, creating a design, I might type autumn wishes, highlight, go to my text, and another one that was in the bundle is Lady Love. Let me make that larger. All right, now when I put this in, I'm going to move this aside. When I put this in the wreath, there's a couple things I want to do. I noticed this font had some pretty swirls and extras for the beginning and ends of the letters, and I want to add them. The way you do that is using the character map built into your computer. My particular character map, I did enhance it by buying one for $9. It's called Ultra Character Map, and the reason I did that is because it has some extras I wanted. If you're on a PC, your character map is a little hard to read because you don't have the option of changing the sizing. I do, so I can make it larger, smaller, whatever I want. It makes it a little hard to see, but there's a number of them free to download on the internet that are safe to download and use that make it easy. The reason I paid for mine is if I'm, for example, typing something and I'm not sure what font to use, I can just type up whatever that phrase is and find it. So I want to go to my glyphs. Those are the extras, the bits. So I'm going to choose that font, and we typed Autumn Wishes, so I want to put it like the beginning and end of it. So I'm going to scroll through, and when you do, when you're looking at those extras, the first thing you see on your character map is the alphabet the way it is when you type it out. After that, you'll start to see the extras show up. So we're going to go to the S because wishes at the end. I like this one with the little swirl. I'm going to just simply copy and paste like anything else we do. I come over back to silhouette, highlight the letter I'm going to change, and I hit paste, and there it is. It's as simple as that. You copy and paste from your character map to silhouette. Couldn't be easier. So I'm going to again hit copy, go to my W. I'm double clicking to get that highlight back, and I'm going to paste. And let's do the N as well. I'm going to leave the A because if we do too many swirls, it kind of starts taking on a life of its own. It looks like I'm a newbie, which I was. You can always tell my stuff because I put lots of swirls on the end. And now back to my N, highlighted, and paste. Now I'm going to ungroup, and one of the things you need to do with fonts that have overlapping bits, let me just zoom in here for you. So you can see the U overlaps the T on the U. If you were to leave it this way, when you cut, you're going to cut these bits also. You want to get rid of those extra cuts. So you highlight, go to your modify window, and weld. And fonts are only going to weld together where they overlap, of course. And now you're going to group it. And we're going to do the same with wishes. Highlight and weld. And then we're going to group that word together. And I'm going to back out. We're going to bring our two together. Let's even it up. I'm going to center them using my align tool. And I want these to be slightly at an angle, not quite a straight line across. So I'm going to use my cursor on that little piece there. I'm going to pull. Now you'll notice I don't stretch my font to the side or up and down because I have a font because I like the way it looks. I don't want to stretch it. Rather, I want to size it, so I'm going to use the corners. And now I'm just going to group these together and align them. So I'm using my align tool again. I'm going to center the two things. And let's just fill it with color and see how it looks. So we just created a wreath where we could do a monogram or we could do whatever. And I'm not saying this was a spectacular design, but I'm showing you exactly how you can do it. So using the fonts we have and the design elements, you have endless possibilities. It's still a good deal to buy a bundle that's all completed files, but knowing how to simply create your own with the pieces that are in it then gives you so much more for your money. All right, let's do one more, something different on this one. Let's see, we showed the extras, we showed the other, let's do the gingerbread, and then I can stop boring you. You've seen how to use your character map. Let's take one and make it for print and cut. We're going to compiled graphics again. And I'm going to use a completed file here. Baby, it's cold outside. I'm just going to bring it right on over to my mat. And let's say you want to create gift tags. If I remember correctly, we have something for that. Let's open new project wizard. Look at that, gift tag shape already. Click on it, hit start. There it is. I'm going to click on that shape. I'm going to copy and go back where I already have the design, and I'm going to paste. Why? Because I want to. Okay, so here's my shape. I'm also going to turn it and size so we can see a little easier. I should probably use the turn tool so that it's even. There we go. So if I'm setting these up for something like printing, just because it's a cut file doesn't mean you can't. Easily done. Let's just size this file down. You don't have to stick to colors that the designer used. I do have to right click on it and say bring to the front so it shows better. All right, and I'm going to ungroup here in a second and show you why, because I'm going to actually use the file the way it is, and I'm going to duplicate some pieces. Or I could just type to and from and then fill it out by hand when I'm wrapping. It'd be cute if I knew the same font, but I don't. So I'll probably just use one of the ones in the bundle and add it down here, but for the sake of right now, I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Click on my eyedropper. I'm going to match up the color if I like the colors that are already being used. I'm going to make my cut lines be clear. Bring the font over. And I'm going to make this a little larger. Like I said, I'm not doing great designing, but I just want to show you. Okay, so there's my to from. There's my cut file. I'm not saying this is one I'd use, but I could conceivably use this the way it is, group it together, make all my lines clear, and bring it down to a size that I want for a tag because we enlarged it so much. So I probably wouldn't go larger than, say, 3 inches on a tag. So I'm going to bring it down and over to my mat and set up for print and cut, which is all about registration marks. So you pick your printer size and paper. In my case, it would be letter size. And then it shows me on the map my letter size. I'm going to turn on my registration marks. I'm using a Cameo. You're using a Cameo or a portrait. Make sure you have your tag within the print lines here that are showing, and we're going to duplicate it so that we have the whole sheet. I can't quite fit 4 there, but I can go 3. And then I could turn some on its side. Now, one thing, and fill this bottom part, one thing you want to do is you want to make sure that these don't cut the cut file. So when you're ready to send this to be printed, you first go to send and find action. Do you ever have those nights where you just don't get it right? Oh my gosh. Let's cancel that. Go back to design. Now let's go. All right, you start by picking your material, of course, which in this case is going to be cardstock, plain. There we go. And we're just doing a regular cut. I'm using a ratchet blade. And then I need to also tell it to not cut all of this bit. So all we're going to do is on action, we're going to opt for no cut. And then I'm just going to cut edge. Now you can see it's going to cut my tags rather than, and this one has to be separated out there. Now it's going to cut my tags instead of the design that's inside the tag. That's the part I wanted you to see. And it's generating the job, and you can see that. Sorry it took so long there. So you've got a number of things you can do, all very easy. I hope this unlocked some of the mysteries of what to do with it and opened up possibilities for you. Thanks for watching.